What's up everybody, it's Sean here, and I'm here today to give you guys a comparison video of the Nike Dunk Low Panda from the Nike by You or Nike ID platform versus the general release Nike Sportswear version. Today's video, as always, is sponsored by the good people from Heffelux. Heffelux is my all-time favorite sneaker insoles, and they sell eTPU insoles, which essentially is the same material you'll find in Adidas Boost. So if you're looking to add some additional comfort inside your shoes, be sure to check out their website, which I've linked down below in the description box. You'll see they sell a variety of different insoles, so depending on the type of insole density and the cushioning setup you're looking for, you're going to find there's a suitable pair for everyone. So I've been a paying customer of Heffelux for years now, and to me, I personally find them to be very comfortable. So if you guys want to check them out and try a pair for yourself, be sure to use the code SEANGO at checkout and get 15% off your entire purchase. So in the past couple of years, with all this dunk craze going around, no other colorway has been more popular, arguably, than this Panda or black and white colorway. It's kind of become the uniform of choice for a lot of people out there on the streets, and you'll see people from different backgrounds, ages, nationalities, styles. It doesn't really matter. It's very common to see these Panda dunks on feet. So here in my hands, I have the retail versions, which are the ones that hit stores, for example, like Foot Locker. And on this side, I have the pair that I created through the Nike by You or Nike ID platform, which for those who don't know what it is, this is a customization platform on Nike's website where you're able to create your very own custom shoes based off of a set amount of options and colorways and materials for a slightly premium price compared to the actual retail version. So when I posted my Nike by You on Instagram stories, I got a lot of comments, and it seems like the dunks are only available on Nike Canada's website, and I believe on Europe as well. So correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they're available in the US as of yet, but fingers crossed, hopefully they will be available on the Nike.com US website soon. So I ordered these customs on March 1st, and they finally arrived, which is a little bit longer than it normally takes. In my experience with past customs, it takes about a month's time, but I guess we're seeing all these global shipping delays, and it's actually impacting Nike by You as well. So this retail version from the stores retails for a price of 135 Canadian dollars, whereas the Nike by You version, it costs a little bit more, retailing for 160 Canadian dollars instead. So I guess at the end of the day, the question is, if you're able to get both of these for retail price, is that 15 Canadian dollar markup worth it? Well, let's dive straight into the details, and I'll give you guys a close comparison look. So on the toe box of this Nike by You version, I opted for a white leather, and you'll see that the leather here has a very tumbled finish to it, but at the same time, when you run your fingers across it, you can tell that it's actually a pretty decent cut of leather. You'll see those natural grains of the leather flex and fold as you run your fingers across, and has a nice decent softness to it as well. When you compare this to the retail version, the leather here is much smoother, and although it is genuine leather, there's a heavy coating of polyurethane on top, which makes it feel much more synthetic and much stiffer overall. Overlaid on the front toe cap, for the Nike by You version, I opted for the black leather option, and similar to the white leather, it has a nice tumbled feel to it, and I'm just very impressed by this leather quality. Holding it in hand, it really feels like a genuine cut of leather, and that's a welcome change compared to the retail version, where there's pretty much no flex or no give at all, and it creases pretty terribly once you wear them. On the mid panel of the Nike by You version, we have more of that white leather, and overlaid on top of this, we have this tumbled leather swoosh, which feels exactly the same as all the rest of the leather used on this shoe. Moving on to the back, I opted for this black colored leather once again, and at the very top, we have Nike embroidered in white, and when you look at them side by side, you'll see how much more synthetic looking the retail version is, whereas on the Nike by You version, the leather that they use, it shows off the inconsistencies and the imperfections, which is something I really appreciate. Moving to the front, for the laces, so I opted for a black colored lace as well, and the lace they give you on the Nike by You version is much more of that traditional lace feel. It feels a little bit rougher to the touch, whereas the Nike by You version, it feels smoother and silkier, and I think in this case, I do prefer the laces on the retail version instead. Underneath this, so unfortunately for the Nike by You version, they don't give you the options of nylon tongues, at least for now, so instead I chose a white colored leather tongue. And I gotta say, the leather on the tongue is just as good as the leather used on the rest of the shoe. It also feels very soft to the touch and has a very tumbled feel to it as well. And at the very top, instead of the black tag, you don't have a say here, unfortunately. So these come with a white colored nylon tag with the Nike logo in black. And when you compare this to the retail version, this pair comes with a white nylon tag, which is much more like your traditional dunk. And the tag here is black with Nike branding in white. As for the interior of the shoes, so for both pairs, these come with these black colored liners, and there is some differences here. So for the Nike by You version, this is much more like a mesh material and it feels a little bit rougher to the touch, whereas on the retail version, it feels like it's much more tightly wound together, which gives it more of a smooth and soft feel to it in comparison. And once again, in this case, I do prefer the lining of the retail version instead. So these both come with these foam lined insoles, but for the Nike by You version, it's lined in this black colored textile on top with the Nike logo in white on the heel, whereas on the retail version, it's done in white on the top and we have the Nike logo in black. And if you look at the sides of the insoles, there's honestly not too much of a difference. They're both that same sort of open cell foam, and I think for the retail version, because I've worn these quite a bit, those open spaces in the foam have kind of compressed. That's why they look a little bit different head to head. So the upper of the Dunk, I opted for a solid white colored rubber cup sole, and then turning the shoe over to the bottom, the outsoles here are pretty much identical. For the retail version, because I've worn these quite a bit, the black has kind of faded and it's obviously a little bit dirty. But for the Nike by You version, the black midsole here is actually a regrind recycled material. That's why you'll see these speckles of white found throughout. So that breaks down the differences from a look and material standpoint. And in terms of sizing, so for me, the Dunk fits true to size. So I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and I opted for a size 10 for both versions. But I noticed there was some differences in how they fit. I don't know if that's because I've just worn the retail version a lot more, and maybe they've broken in and they've gotten a little bit wider, but I found that the retail version fit a little bit more wide foot friendly, whereas the Nike by You version, it fit me a little bit more snug from a width perspective, specifically around this toe box area right here. So again, I'm not sure if this is just a difference because this is really worn in and this is brand new, but if I had to guess, I think that the retail version fits a little bit more wide foot friendly. Next up, in terms of the comfort, so these pretty much feel identical on feet, except the biggest difference is the materials on this Nike by You version. It feels much softer straight out of the box, whereas for the retail version, you do kind of have to break it in, and eventually that hard plastic-like leather, it'll somewhat mold to your feet. So in terms of the materials, I do prefer the softness of the Nike by You version, but in terms of the underfoot feeling, there's not too much cushioning for either shoe. They both feel pretty stiff and sturdy and very stable, and there's not too much from a softness and step and comfort perspective. Last but not least, in terms of the overall materials and craftsmanship, so obviously this is the biggest difference between the two. The Nike by You version, the leather used is very, very solid and very impressive. And the retail version is absolutely horrendous. It feels very plastic-like and has a strong synthetic feel to it, which I absolutely hate. And in terms of the overall build, I thought both pairs were very solidly well put together. I didn't notice any flaws at all on this Nike by You version, so I thought this was a very solid, well put together shoe. So the final question I'm sure you guys are wondering is this Nike by You version worth that $15 extra compared to the retail version? And the simple answer to that is a resounding yes. In my opinion, I would pay that $15 markup every single time if I had the choice to get a better quality leather compared to these ones. And I've seen people create, for example, Kentucky colorways, Syracuse colorways, Chicago Jordan 1 colorways, and from what I've seen at least, the leather used on all those pairs have been very, very nice. And everyone I've spoke to at least, they've been very happy with their pairs. So this really is a no-brainer. The Nike by You version absolutely blows the retail version out of the water. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think between these two versions. Would you rather pay more of a price premium for better quality materials? Or are Dunks just a shoe that you're gonna beat up anyways, so you'd rather pay more of that cheaper price for a shoe that's gonna be very durable but not the best quality materials? Either way though, let me know your comments down below. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. If you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at sgo8, check me out on Twitter at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this comparison video, and hopefully it helped you in some way, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.